Whereabouts are you guys?
I'm out in right outside of Phoenix, Arizona, and Puyon is in Redondo Beach, California.
Just outside LA. Just out of LA,
Yeah, nice, nice.
So I was
Um,
being too specific.
yeah.
I'll
guys,
give you his address here in one sec.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
please do, please do, and a list of his spears if that's okay. Guys, like Scary Kids, Scaring Kids has been around for a while. What can you tell me about the scene that the band was born in back in the day?
The scene was, I think the scene, our scene specifically, we were like right on the cusp of like post-hardcore and screamo, right? So we thought we were forming a post-hardcore band, and then everyone just slipped us into the screamo scene. But I think we grew up like going to like basement punk, hardcore rock, Warped Tour, gritty shows, and then we all entered into this other scene of super raw, pure, passionate people kind of like identifying and figuring out that sound together. A lot of bracelets, a lot of skinny jeans, a lot of Red Bull, people smoking cloves. Uh,
Just you.
maybe that was just me. But yeah, good time. We also, I don't know what it was for everybody, but for us, it was a lot of sleeping on couches and really deep community. Seeing the same people at a lot of the same shows and kind of growing very naturally and feeling very communal.
Is it strange to look back on a scene that, like emo and stuff like that, that had such a really strong fashion element to it? Kind of like a glam band from the 80s. Like, is it strange to look back on that, knowing that, Jesus, it's literally been like 20 years now? Um, you know, it, was it strange? Is it weird to look at early lineup photos and just be like, bro?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was all in. I had jet black hair, the snake bites, and uh, our hair back in the day was so good.
Yeah,
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 Yeah, the
yeah.
skinny jeans. Yeah, I can't quite do the skinny jeans anymore.
yeah, yeah. It's just it's one step too far.
it was such a it was such a strange vibe because I remember when it first came out, I was a bit mystified. So I was 2004, I was 19. So, I and I already felt like there was a generation gap because I was a new metal kid. So when all the emo kids started getting around, I was like, what are the kids today doing? And I'm like, as a 19-year-old,
Yeah,
what a
yeah. We
strange.
were we were a part of that.
Oh, bless.
I think
Um,
we're the same age, so
yeah,
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 yeah. We're the same
sounds about
age.
right. So look, it, the obviously Scary Kids, Scaring Kids had the first part of its the band's existence was obviously and quite sadly uh closed the book on that chapter when Tyson passed away. Um, you guys were in the process of recording an album when that came out. Did any of that material ever see the light of day?
no, unfortunately, nothing. It's
Mm,
all. Honestly, I can't even find half the songs that we even wrote for it. The other half are just kind of just sitting on a hard drive and most likely just kind of be there.
yeah,
We
fair.
yeah, we had some ideas about bringing them back, but it just kind of didn't make sense when we were writing again 10 years after the fact.
Fair. So it was never like a hard thing that you committed to going, no, we're never going to do it. It just didn't work.
Yeah, when we were doing the Out of Light album, it just like the songs that we were writing in 2009 and 2010 leading up to that album
Mhm.
were they kind of sounded like 2009 and 10. And even though they were great still, what we were trying to do is write an album that was more like this is what Scary Kids would sound like
Mhm.
today, not what we were back then. Even though it's not a huge departure, it's
Yeah.
to some it is because of all the different singers, but
So we won't get into the nitty gritty about the end of his life because it's really no one's business. But was there just purely from what I could Google, was drugs the reason that Tyson passed away? Or was it like, obviously we won't get into anything dark, but the reason I wanted to ask about that is, did his did his death make change your perspective on both performing music and maybe also, the trappings of fame and of addiction and things like that?
Yeah, I think touring and living and especially touring in the way that we did, which there was one year where we were on the road 11 months out of the year, not consecutively, but we might be home for a weekend or whatever. If you count up the days, it turns out to 11 months out of the year,
Yeah.
and that's a lot, right? So I think what you miss out on is, and we were just starting to get a little bigger. We had signed to a major label, and we're starting to see a handful of people who maybe treat you a little differently, and or inauthentically because of this thing that you're also a part of, right? And I think that's tough to deal with. You have, in that environment, you see fewer and fewer authentic relationships or get to connect with family or loved ones less often, and people cope with that in different ways. I think there is a healthy way to navigate it, but it's also a very difficult and challenging thing to navigate, and each person is different, right?
Mm.
So how they deal with that is different. But yeah, it's tough.
I feel like the that disconnect, like you're saying, like traveling, abroad 11 months of the year, like, dude, I don't know how you guys live that life. Like the life of a touring musician, as much as I love music, would be torture to me. So bless you for doing it. But the strains that come along with a lifestyle like that, I feel like in order to protect yourself, from that, I feel like the relationships within the band would become so much more important because you're essentially leaning on each other when you are on the other side of the world from your support network.
Yeah, it kind of becomes a family, whether in that dynamic, whether in the way that we were, right? We grew up, we started the band in high school. We were all 16. So we were kids that were trying to figure out how to be adults while doing this thing, right? The only jobs we'd had by that time were maybe at coffee shops or something similar. And so yeah, it's you become family, right? Because you're around
Mm.
each other so much that you're not necessarily choosing to be there, but you still love each other, and you still have to look at, and you still really deeply care about each other and want to look out for each other. Um, but yeah, we were all friends first, and then kind of turned into bandmates as a result of that.
So what was it like the first time you performed a Scary Kids track after, like with someone else on vocals after Tyson's passing?
It was definitely different and very interesting, but we had the best guy step up and do it, which was Cove Reaper from Seosin.
Hmm.
Uh, and he just knocked it out of the park. So that's when we came back, we definitely were very picky about who we wanted to come back with, and didn't want it to be just anybody. We wanted to be someone that made sense, someone that was really close to Tyson, really good friends with the rest of us as well. Um, but it was definitely very different. Things are definitely different now, but it's all just kind of what happened. And I think whatever we're doing now is we're really really tight and really in good hands with our live musicians.
I like it. Now, Puy, and I understand you're quite a passionate crowd diver. Is that true?
Used to be, used to be. At one point in my life, yeah. Yeah, that was before I strapped on the keytar. It's a lot more challenging with the keytar. I used to be a lot more free on that stage.
Yeah. Well, plus the temptation, like if someone crowd surfs on top of me with a guitar, I'm
Yeah.
taking that guitar. Like,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
now my guitar.
Yeah, I used to have less instrument to break people's skulls open with, which was nice.
Were there
It's
any
straight up
other
an axe too. You just
Yeah.
come down like with the
Yeah.
with some what were some of the riskier or scarier scarier jumps? Have you been ones where you've noticed something only you've only noticed it when you're halfway down? And you're
Totally.
like, oh, shit.
There are two that come to mind. There was one during a Warp Tour, and it might have been St. Pete or something. But as I was climbing up, I realized, oh shit, it's raining. So I was climbing up the rafters, and as I was climbing up, I was like, damn, it's rainy, and that's affecting these steel bars much more than I thought it would. So my hands are slipping, like if you've ever done like monkey bar with ball bearings. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it felt like, and I was like, I am falling all over the place. So fortunately, I was able to launch off quick enough and not hit the concrete. Another time we played in a place called Soma, San Diego, and I climbed the rafters, got up to it, and then I straight jumped, and people spread, and I actually hit the wood. But fortunately, it was a wood base, and it just kind of like I bounced back up, got some air, and then got back on my feet and ran up and finished the song. So no harm, no foul.
Oh, lads. My
Yeah.
goodness. Many any long-standing injuries from that fun?
Nothing externally visible. Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, you guys are coming down here with a Skylit Drive. What now? Have you guys played together a bit in the past?
This will be, yeah, go ahead, Jed.
I think we might have done like a Warp Tour together, but this will be our like first time really kind of playing some real shows with them.
Yeah, we're excited.
Now, did you pick them, or was this something that got proposed to you?
I think it just came together through the promoter. Yeah.
Nice. Now, I have a specialty. This next question is a bit of a specialty of mine because it's a stupid question and it's designed for you to have some fun with. Now, firstly, how many members are there in a Skylit Drive? Are there 4 or 5, something like that? About that? Is there a similar number?
I think there's 4 at least on their on their Apple Music at the top. I see 4 people. But
Oh, nice. I'm curious.
Yeah, four members.
All right. Stupid question coming in. Here you go. Are you ready? Scary kids scaring kids versus a Skylit Drive all in brawl. Who would you put money on for winning?
I think just because we have the numbers. We have the numbers.
Nice.
2, so we have 30%, 33% more people than they do. So I think look, because I don't know about their fighting style and their chaos, but or their brute strength, but I'm gonna say just by the numbers alone, we might take it.
well, I guess we'll see when we get out there.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
It's on site.
Are you interviewing them next? Are you going to start a feud before we ever meet?
I haven't done them yet, but I have done that many times in the past.
They said they could kick your ass, by the way.
Yeah. There's two old Australian bands from the 90s, Friends of Rom and Body Jar. And I interviewed them back to back because they're both playing at a festival. And this was how it started. I literally said, hey, would you be able to beat them in a fight? And then I interviewed them and we cut it together. So it was them all talking about it. It was like a boxing tale of the tape. It was fucking amazing.
That's great.
Yeah. So you guys have been, how long have you two known each other?
Since the 1900s.
In a past life.
Oh.
Was it 16 or 15, Chad? Something like that, right? Was I 15 maybe?
We were 14, I believe.
14.
1999 is when we met.
Yeah, high school.
First day of high school, yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
That is a long time.
He's like the first guy I met in high school. I completely switched like wherever I lived. So I was in this whole new school where I knew absolutely nobody. And PE was our first class.
Oh, man.
And you were really good at PE.
I failed it. I literally failed PE. And we had an undercover cop in there too.
It's just because of the authority thing. That's it.
Yeah, I have a problem with authority. That's all. That's all there is to it.
I'm just shocked to hear an American call it PE. I thought you guys called it gym.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Physical education, PE. Yeah.
Yeah, we call it PE. I was like, I've never heard that said with an American accent. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Guys, lastly, well, where I was going with that was that I remember when someone interviewed Ben Affleck and Matt Damon way back in the day because they've been friends for ages, and one of them said, I can't remember who, but it was like if I woke up yeah, in a hotel room with a dead prostitute, I'd call Matt. Like he would be, yeah, who would you call? We'd call each other. And I was like, do you guys have a like after knowing each other for this long, how tight knit are you? If you woke up with a dead body in your hotel room, would you be calling each other?
Yeah, well, I definitely, I'd probably try to take care of it without Chad. I'd probably not to sully his name, not to make him, not to loop him in. I'd keep it secret from him. But yeah, I would trust Chad if I killed anyone.
Yeah, you get rid of a body. Chad,
Yeah,
would you?
I'd try to do it alone.
Oh,
So I wasn't.
I'd gladly take that call. But I'm right there with you. I wouldn't involve you. But you'd be the guy if I had to have somebody.
Yeah,
Bless.
we're gonna go target practicing pretty soon. You want to come, Tom?
Yeah,
We're gonna go shoot some
100%.
Yeah.
Oh God, it sounds like going shooting with Dick Cheney. No, thank you.
Oh God, that sounds sketchy.
Guys, this has been fun. Thank you very much for your time. Really looking forward to the tour. And yeah, man, have a great day.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
you.
Tom. We'll see you out
Can't wait to
in
be out there.
Australia here soon.